got. He's touching down now. He's rolling out. Looks like he's going to make the high speed.
This is a place where accidents can be deadly.
All right, hang on.
Where lives hang in the balance.
The crew thinks he has a heart attack. There is no medical personnel on board.
This is ATL, Atlanta, Georgia's hectic hub of air travel. Like you've never seen it before.
It's a whole different world.
It's a pressure cooker.
Every minute can become an hour very quickly.
It's a minefield.
When the plane detonated, this suit wouldn't do anything for me.
Inside this complex operation, it's non-stop action, day and night.
Just wait for that next phone call.
And the clock is always ticking. Atlanta, Georgia. Gateway to the American South. And the home of the busiest airport in the world. Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International. Call letters ATL. More flights connect through ATL than any other airport on Earth. On a typical day, nearly 2,700 airplanes touch down and take off on these runways. 250,000 travelers and thousands of metric tons of freight move through here every 24 hours. The nearly 60,000 employees at ATL live by two key rules: keep your customers safe and flights on time. But those objectives are in jeopardy right now. At the height of the afternoon rush, traffic is fierce. As one plane departs, within seconds, another one arrives.
Alpha 30 jetway driver, we'll get you one out, sir.
At the center of it all is this guy, Bart Wynn, chief of this vital nerve center known as Ramp Tower A, one of only 3 ramp towers at ATL.
It happens right here, starts here, it ends here.
Atlanta is home base for Delta Airlines, one of the busiest airlines in the world.
Delta 2361, go ahead, sir.
And Ramp Tower A is the headquarters for Delta's ground operations.
We bring the operation up in the morning, and then at night, we like to say we put it to bed.
Bart and his crack team of 20 people shepherd the safe arrival and departure of hundreds of flights every day.
Well, actually, we're doing today's schedule, just between the 2 flights. We've got 600 arrivals coming in and 597 out.
Bart's main responsibility is to get his flights to a gate, get unloaded, get reloaded, and get back out, safely and on time. Otherwise, it'll cost the airlines money and affect their reputation.
The airlines really have a lot of challenges. We have weather, mechanical problems, really customers being late, whatever.
Bart has little leeway, 14 minutes. Anything past that and the flight is considered officially late by the U.S. Department of Transportation. Extended delays are worse. If a loaded plane sits on the tarmac for more than 3 hours, airlines face hefty fines, almost $28,000 per passenger. On a jumbo jet like a 777, that can be over an $8 million penalty.
So we really have a lot of responsibility, a lot of pressure.
So Bart and his team work hard to protect Delta's on-time performance.
You really have to constantly be ready for the unexpected, so to speak.
Like this radio transmission coming in now.
Companies 24, 32, 35, respond to code green.
A passenger coming in on Delta Flight 1647 is showing signs of medical distress.
Correct.
Bart gets a call from Delta's operational headquarters across the airfield.
Hey, Bart, it's Francis.
Hey, Francis.
I just want to make sure you know about 1647.
I'll take care of it right now. Thanks for the heads up on that. We'll have everybody rolling and have the gate open and ready. He's shortness of breath right now. The crew thinks he has a heart attack. There is no medical personnel on board. Hey, Rob, got a medical deal, sir. I've got landing on 8 left. You'll see him out there on your Aerobahn. 8 left.
The plane is due in 10 minutes and will need a gate immediately upon landing. For that, Bart relies on his right-hand man to make it happen.
1024, continue taxi left side, Bravo 2, please. 2112, Bravo 8, Atlanta Cadet departure, clear to push tail south.
Rob Updegraff is Tower A's traffic cop, an expert at the delicate art of maneuvering planes to and from the gates. With not a minute to lose, he talks at breakneck speed.
Yeah, Delta 1661, gates occupied by Delta 1627. Delta 2324, give way to the 88 rolling across your nose. When clear, left side out, contact ground at 121.75. Good day.
Mike 3, clear for takeoff on 320 at 10 to 15.
Delta 2324, just hold your current position for me, please. I typically work ramp 2, which is the ramp in between A and B concourse. There's a total of 34 gates that I'm responsible for, and my main priority is the safe and organized movement of aircraft. Who's calling the taxi? 1991 ramp.
No easy feat during afternoon rush hour.
You're just dealing with so many aircraft, and the frequency, the cyclical rate of operation there is just so great, and it's so concentrated that it's just nonstop.
Flight 1647 with the medical emergency will take priority upon landing. Other planes will have to wait their turn before they get to a gate. It's a juggling act Bart performs every day.
We've got, at one time, 45 airplanes on the ground. I've only got 25 gates. What are we going to do? How are we going to manage? We're going to push something early. We're going to hold it there.
Bart notifies emergency medical services to get them ready at the gate. Now all they can do is wait. Flight 1647 is on its final approach.
He's over the marker. He's going to be on the ground in about 2 minutes here.
All right, get him in straight in. He's already called the feds. They know he's coming in.
Rob keeps a close eye on the landing.
He's touching down now. He's rolling out. It looks like he's going to make the high speed. He should be in the ramp off Fox in about less than a minute.
Then guides the plane in.
By the time you get here and taxi in, with it being eastbound, the gate should be out open.
When the plane arrives at the gate, EMS is waiting. The passenger is unconscious, but alive.
Apparently he had some chest pains, and they actually transported him to a local hospital here near the airport, about 15 minutes away.
Situation resolved.
Delta 69, what departure you flying today, sir?
Until the next one. After almost 4 intense hours, the evening rush has finally slowed. But there are still challenges that lie ahead, like this one. Delta Flight 1290 is scheduled to depart for Detroit at 2017 hours, 30 minutes from now, but no in-flight meals have been loaded yet. The food is still being packed in a supersized kitchen 5 kilometers east of the terminal building. Tom Rizzo is head honcho at this massive in-flight catering operation called Gate Gourmet. He's the man who will take the fall if this order is late.
But we do not want to be involved with the delayed aircraft. It is something that we do everything possible to stay on time.
Tom's team prepares 20,000 meals a day, but he's only allowed 1 late delivery per month. Otherwise, he risks losing his contract with Delta, a contract worth millions. So he and his staff are rushing to get this order out on time.
If we fall behind here, every minute can become an hour very quickly.
Gate Gourmet's 900 employees work round the clock to prepare roughly 3 metric tons of food and equipment for almost 600 domestic flights leaving ATL each day. From peanut packs to first-class dinners, these guys do it all.
Well, everybody here has to pitch in. Total of production here on an average is about 3,000 types of hot entrees. We'll make another 3,000 to 4,000 sandwiches.
Everything is proceeding according to plan until Tom gets some bad news.
Luna.
Tell him Baker 5.
We got an equipment change on 1290. Running from a P to a regular.
There's a mechanical glitch on Flight 1290, so the airline replaces the aircraft. The change has a ripple effect.
May I have your attention? Flight number 1290 changed from 767 to regular 757.
Plane change activity here in Atlanta is very, very active. We'll go through about 100 to 150 plane changes in a given 24-hour period of time. It's very important for us, again, to keep track of everything that's going on there.
Finding a replacement plane is no problem, and it's a quick transfer of passengers and their luggage. But for Tom and crew, the switch is a headache. The kitchen on the new plane has a different layout, and the galley carts they've already packed won't fit. Tom's crew will have to repack the entire order.
A full fleet for Delta has us tracking about 30 different galley types. That makes it very challenging.
And they've got less than 15 minutes to get the job done and delivered. At the International Airport in Atlanta, Georgia, a last-minute hiccup is causing chaos 5 kilometers away from the terminal. It's at Gate Gourmet, the airport's caterer. Tom Rizzo and his team are frantic, trying to prepare a food order for Flight 1290 to Detroit. A sudden change of aircraft means that their carefully packed galley carts can't be used for the flight. Every meal tray, every drink container, every snack must be unloaded and reloaded on a different sized cart.
We don't have a lot of time on this, and departure time is probably in about 10 minutes, so the team is all pulling together because it's very important for us to leave on time.
If they're late, Tom's contract with the airline could be in jeopardy, so every second counts.
Now we're ready to push it on.
7 minutes before departure time, Tom's order is ready to go. But it still needs to get to the plane, nearly 5 kilometers away. Tom's drivers hightail it. They must navigate past several active ramps and dart through other delivery vehicles to get there.
What keeps me up and what would be my worst nightmare is any aircraft damage, any accident involving our personnel, and maintaining a safe food environment.
By the time the drivers arrive, they have just minutes to get the order stowed on board. They get it done with just seconds to spare.
I don't like to see things not come together like anybody else. We strive for perfection, and we keep working for that.
Tonight, Gate Gourmet's on-time reputation remains intact, and Flight 1290 leaves on time. As air traffic winds down and passengers and staff head home for the night, there's one man whose job is just getting started. And he's got safety on his mind. He's a highly specialized runway inspector.
It's very interesting at night. It's a whole different world. You know, the airport's obviously 24/7, but so much stuff happens here at night.
Heinz Hansen is known as the Friction Man. Tonight he has a mission to make sure runway 26 isn't too slippery for takeoffs and landings.
All right, we'll see you later. Bye.
Every time a plane touches down, rubber from the tires gets left on the tarmac. That rubber builds up and reduces the friction tires need to grip the runway. In wet weather, this becomes a slippery hazard.
When it gets wet and planes, as they're landing at their high speeds, if it's raining, they could slide off the end of the runway.
Takeoffs and landings deposit 31 metric tons of rubber on the concrete every day. That's enough rubber to make over 17,000 tires. When this much rubber accumulates, Heinz deals with it.
And then we will take corrective action if we need to get without maintenance and have some rubber removal conducted on this runway.
It's Heinz's job to test each landing runway for rubber buildup, but he has to do it at night.
You can't really get out onto the runways or taxiways during the day because it's too busy.
To get the job done, Heinz relies on this special car, the friction tester. Hidden inside the truck is a fully functioning fifth wheel that simulates a plane's tire moving along the tarmac. When Heinz presses a button, the fifth wheel lowers onto the concrete. Sensors connected to the tire provide digital friction measurements.
This computer is going to let me know how many feet I have remaining. We've got 62, 61, 100 feet remaining. It's showing me the speed, and it's showing me the actual friction numbers. Like right now, we're at 7.7, we're at 7.9, we're at 8.1, and again, 9.9. The higher the number, the better it is.
To assess how slippery the tarmac will be under wet weather conditions, Heinz's vehicle has a pump that sprays water onto the tarmac just ahead of the testing tire, simulating a wet runway. And the results are in.
Okay, we just completed the friction test on runway 26 right. Here's the printout. And this particular test was very good. Numbers are all in the upper 80s to low 90s, which is good.
So no rubber removal required. And runway 26 is safe for another day of business. Also working through the night is ATL's busiest all-cargo carrier, Cargolux. The task at hand, to load up some specialized bounty.
Good.
Garrett Dingman, the station manager for Cargolux, moves all kinds of cargo.
Pretty much, you name it, we put it on an airplane.
Cargolux is the biggest operation at ATL dedicated solely to air cargo, moving 48 metric tons a day.
Carlo, pick up our route 2 inches.
On the docket tonight is a shipment of top-secret prototype cars, headed back to Germany for safety testing. The customer expects delivery 15 hours from now. Garrett and his team get the cars ready for an early morning pickup. They can't be loaded just any which way.
We're taking 2 cars and we're stacking them one on top of another. This allows us to maximize the space on the aircraft and move more cargo.
Some of it glamorous, like aircraft engines, luxury yachts, or sports cars. And some of it, not so much.
I moved porta potties, large 20-ton generators. Bigger the uglier, the happier we are.
Getting this shipment into shape takes some fancy footwork.
2 inches forward and you can sit it down. 2 inches forward. Okay, you need to come back to you now. Okay. All clear.
Garrett's shipment will be in the air before dawn. With morning traffic at its peak, an incoming flight has an unexpected encounter.
We had a bird strike, possible bird ingestion to number 2 engine.
One that threatens to send all of ATL into red alert. At Atlanta Airport, the busiest airport in the world, Bart and his team at Delta's Ramp Tower A are already hard at it, directing flights in and out of the gates.
2056, taxi left side, hold short, Bravo 30. Left side, short of Bravo 30.
All right, Delta 1292, keep in mind I'm just a messenger. You're going to ramp 1 now, guys.
Sir, what was the call sign, sir?
They've got dozens of early departures heading out, and red-eye flights from the west flocking in.
Actually, just kind of keeping up with our gate space. I've got 33 in line for takeoff. We got 14 in line, are actually on the ground taxiing in.
Besides keeping a close watch on planes on the ground, Bart surveys the airfield to ensure there are no dangers. He doesn't like what he's spotted: a stray luggage strap on a taxiway. It may not seem like much of a threat, but any loose object on the tarmac can be sucked into a huge jet engine and take out an entire plane. In July of 2000, the Concorde ran over some metal debris on takeoff, slicing its tire and causing a rupture to the fuel tank. The plane crashed and killed 113 people. Bart wants no such occurrence on his watch. He holds back traffic and calls in his sighting to airside operations.
Reports of a luggage strap at 2 south that needs recovery, please.
Okay, Roger. 2 south for luggage strap. Thanks.
John Ryan is the king of airside operations. The tarmac's his domain.
We're going to have to proceed out and remove that debris. There's 100, 200, 300 passengers on each one of these aircraft, and their lives are really kind of in our hands at this point.
John patrols ATL's runways and taxiways daily and removes anything that could pose a risk to landing or departing aircraft.
You know, one of the biggest concerns is foreign object debris. Foreign object debris can be anything from plastic, metal, hats, glasses that can be blown out and be ingested by an aircraft engine. You know, any type of ingestion that is on an engine can cause a structural failure of that engine.
Checking the tarmac is a dangerous game. The jet blast from the engines is so powerful it could flip John and his car.
When they try and fit us in between aircraft arrivals, we only have but about a minute or two to get out into the runway. You know, trying to find that debris, listening up for that exit call if we need to come off the runway. A lot of pressure that's involved.
John takes direction from air traffic control to get clearance when it's safe to make a pickup.
Atlanta Airport, 5 Echo at Fire Station 40.
5 Echo, ground.
Hey, good morning, sir. I'd like to proceed west on Romeo.
Airport 5 Echo, and proceed west on Romeo, then hold short of Monterey at the approach end. We might have a gap here for the fourth aircraft.
When the coast is clear, he gets the go-ahead from air traffic control. But John must move quickly. Bart's got a dozen planes waiting to line up for takeoff.
We're going to try and remove this luggage strap sitting right here on the center line coming out of 2 South. So that's right where the aircraft nose gear would be at. So we could have some incident here, pretty bad.
John lets Tower A know the taxiway is clear.
I've got a luggage strap here.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thank you, sir.
Bart's planes can roll again. But John has plenty more ground to inspect.
Our landing runway here is 9,000 feet, and the takeoff runway is actually over 2 miles long. It's probably looking at close to 8 miles of pavement between taxiways and runways.
He'll be out here dodging roaring behemoths until he's satisfied the runways are clear. Morning traffic is still heavy when Bart gets wind of a flight hazard.
Had a bird strike, possible burring just into number 2 engine.
A bird was sucked into one of the engines on an incoming Delta flight.
In this case, it went down through the engine, and as such, we'll have to do an inspection on the airplane now.
Bird strikes are known to down airplanes. Fortunately, not this one. But the engine still needs to be checked for possible damage.
They'll have to bring it in, look at it, inspect it, and determine if it's okay to go back out or not.
The plane was due to head back to Austin, Texas right away, so Bart will need to find another plane to take its place. He turns to Tower A's gatekeeper.
I've got some open space at Tango 4. I could take 130 or I could take 114.
Mark Allen is the god of the gates. He's in charge of 72 of them, and they are the most precious real estate at the airport.
All right, we got 130 at Tango number 4, departure to Munich. No longer your worries.
Mark maps out which flights go to which gates. When things change, like a flight gets in early or a plane can't depart on time, he makes adjustments.
It's almost like a video game. Everything is happening, changing, times are changing, and we're constantly just trying to fit everything.
Right now, he spots a plane sitting at gate A26. It's scheduled to depart for Seattle, but not until almost noon.
I need to find out what they're going to do with that airplane.
Mark commandeers the aircraft for the flight to Austin, replacing the plane disabled by the bird strike.
We're going to use that airplane to expedite the departure of the one that has a mechanical issue.
That buys him some time. He'll still have to find another plane to take the flight to Seattle 3 hours from now.
I'm stealing Seattle's equipment for just a moment.
Meanwhile, the bird strike aircraft is on its way to this place. Delta Technical Operations, global pit stop for Delta's almost 800 aircraft. At over 200,000 square meters, this mechanical shop has one of the biggest cantilevered buildings in the world. And this guy knows it inside out.
Safety, safety, safety is our #1 mantra.
It's Mike Chase's job to ensure that Delta's jet engines are 100% safe and reliable.
As we all know, when we're flying at 35,000 feet, there's no place to pull off to the side of the road if something goes wrong. So our job is to make sure that nothing ever goes wrong.
Mike started here as a mechanic and made his way up to management. Now he works with a team of 1,200 highly trained specialists who inspect and repair these enormous engines every day.
In this engine shop, we do approximately 600 engine shop visits every year, overhauls, restorations, or even what we call hospital repair visits.
The plane is on its way to the shop. It's up to Mike and his crew to determine whether the Bird Strike aircraft is safe to go back out. Checking for damage inside a jet engine requires a rigorous, time-consuming examination called a borescope inspection.
What we do with a borescope inspection is very similar to an endoscope that you would get at a doctor's office where you peer inside the human body. Here, we're actually peering inside the body of the jet engine.
The borescope is a fiber optic tube equipped with a camera that allows a view of every nook and cranny inside the engine.
There are literally thousands and thousands of pieces within this engine that are rotating independently and together at the same time. Our job here is to make sure each and every one of those parts works in harmony with the next.
Technician Stephen Parcha uses a borescope to check out an engine that came in earlier.
How's it looking, guys?
So far, so good.
No signs of damage?
No, not yet.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to help us understand what level of maintenance do we need to perform.
That could range from a minor repair all the way up to a full overhaul, which would take an engine out of commission for days. Mike hopes that's not the case for the plane that ingested a bird, now arriving outside the hangar. Morning traffic is easing off, and John Ryan takes advantage of the lull to complete his airside inspection.
Right now we just finished up the runways, and so we're going to get back over to the taxiways and finish up the taxiways.
The daily inspection is only part of John's job. He gets the call to attend all manner of airfield anomalies, from fuel spills to landing or takeoff emergencies, or when the airport has some unwelcome guests.
What we got is our bird gun here. We're going to load up the ammunition into the gun. Going to have to watch traffic that we don't disperse birds into the runway or near that aircraft that's taken off.
ATL has already dealt with one bird strike today. John aims to make it its last.
And
2 hours have passed since Bart took the call about the plane that ingested a bird. He needs to know if it's airworthy enough to fly to Seattle at noon. Technical operations man Joe Costello has checked the engine, which is now ready for final testing.
We're going to check for different things. We're going to check for pneumatics. Before we return it to service, we want to make sure that everything's operating normally, that everything's safe.
Mike approves the results.
This engine is clean, it's serviceable, and it's in perfect condition. It's ready to fly.
And it's ready for Seattle.
We'll put it on the departure that the original aircraft that we brought up was on. So basically no delay to the outbound that we borrowed, that we used the airplane from.
Tower A's on-time record is still on track. Security is a top priority at ATL, so when the airport's bomb squad gets called out on a mission,
I was right at the plane, and the plane detonated. This suit wouldn't do anything for me.
they put all their resources into defusing this explosive situation. At Atlanta Airport, the team at Tower A is operating at full capacity. A flight arriving from Tampa at Gate A1 has a mechanical problem. A bathroom faucet has sprung a leak.
So they're telling us now they're going to have to fix it before they fly, correct? Hey, Greg or Scott, I got to do... What about Alpha 1? They call for a faucet piece?
The flight is due to continue on to Philadelphia in 30 minutes, but not until this situation's resolved.
It's a faucet that was leaking, which is really something that's concerning. On an airplane, everything has to be exactly right before we push it back.
The aircraft's radio and navigation equipment is located below the cabin floor. If water leaks below, it could short out the plane's radio and navigation systems, leaving the pilot flying blind. The faucet can be repaired, but how fast?
Is that a quick fix? Yeah. Can we get it on time? I don't know about on time.
Bart doesn't want this departure delayed. He decides to use a plane from a Delta hangar.
All right, what are you going to do to push it down? Philadelphia, thanks.
To make this switch happen, Bart needs help from this guy.
Okay, but nothing that's going to stop the flying at this point. Okay, no problem.
Scott Wallace is Tower A's turnaround mastermind. He's the man who'll get everything moved from one plane to another.
We're going to take everything off, put everything back on, pastures, and to get it back out as soon as possible, try to save some time, to save a delay in this case.
Scott coordinates all the crews involved in getting an aircraft prepped and ready to push back from the gate.
Yeah, I want to make sure it's been catered, it's been cleaned, it's been fueled.
It's a juggling act, and Scott does it fast.
Scott.
Typically, we have ground time 45 minutes to an hour, some less than that.
Scott is acutely aware that he only has 30 minutes.
Every time you delay a flight, in most cases, it's a ripple effect. If I delay it 9 minutes here, maybe 10 minutes late, come back, it's just all day long.
Which is how a simple faucet leak has the potential to throw an entire day into chaos.
Hey, this is Scott Wallace.
The replacement plane arrives. Passengers disembark, the planes are switched, and everything is reloaded onto the new aircraft. The flight takes off for Philadelphia 14 minutes behind schedule, 1 minute shy of being officially late.
So the customers really didn't see a huge impact, and we're pretty much back on schedule.
Which is how Bart wants to keep it all day, every day. Now, the frantic pace of arrivals and departures has eased, for the time being. But there's action of another kind just off the north runway. Fire crews and the airport bomb squad converge on a grounded aircraft to face the unthinkable. The threat of a bomb on one of their planes.
We're pulling up here to the plane.
On any given day, Robert Bailey could be putting his life on the line to keep Atlanta Airport safe from terrorist attacks. Luckily for him and his team of bomb experts, today's not one of those days. The team is running through a training scenario.
Based on a suspected suicide bomber on board an international aircraft, it's very critical that we're on top of the game. Training is paramount. There's not a lot of room for errors.
Robert insists that his men treat this exercise like it's real. The possibility of a bomb attack is ever present, and the squad must be prepared. Lives depend on it. Today's training is a simulation of the shoe bomber incident that happened in 2001. The scenario goes like this. Passengers have subdued and immobilized a terrorist who threatened to blow up a plane. They've left him on board the plane, along with his boots, which contained the suspected bomb. Robert's squad must extract the rigged boots from the aircraft and remove them from the area. To execute their mission, the squad relies on the most technologically advanced member of the bomb squad.
Can we all set up?
Yep. They've nicknamed it Mighty Max, and it's the most advanced robot of its kind.
What makes this robot so unique is it's designed for small, confined spaces. So the width of it's only 15 inches wide from track to track, which makes it get into narrow spaces. And we're going to send it on board the aircraft to try to recover the shoes and put them in the containment vessel.
Weighing nearly 80 kilograms, this gadget sports 4 transforming tracks, 3 cameras, and a handy toolkit.
Okay.
Robert calls the shots from this mobile command center.
This right here is where we operate the robot from that we just pulled off. It's going to work wirelessly, so we'll be able to sit right here and control the robot from this point on out.
They operate by remote control, a safe distance away from the bomb to protect the squad. But to get Mighty Max onto the plane, Officer Ken Watson must drive a stair truck right up to the plane's front doorway. That puts Ken right in harm's way.
This basically will enable my safety to and from the plane, but if I was right at the plane and the plane detonated, this suit wouldn't do anything for me.
Okay. I got the helmet right here. Good?
Yep.
All right, you good?
All right, test, Johnny. You got me?
With the stairs in place, Watson hustles out of the danger zone.
From this aspect, we'd be ready to deploy the robot on board the aircraft to see if we can see the suspect and try to make communications with them.
This little dynamo navigates just about any kind of terrain, including, amazingly, stairs. It has a built-in incline sensor system to keep it upright. It transforms into any number of configurations in less than 10 seconds. With the robot on board the aircraft, the team can get a good look inside.
All right, there's our suspect. We'll try to make contact with him.
Now Mighty Max can get to work. While an army of workers in Atlanta, Georgia keeps the traffic flowing at the busiest airport in the world, ATL's bomb squad is focused on quite a different task. 25 minutes into their training session, they've reached a critical point.
We're going to raise up our camera.
The robot has maneuvered through the foregalley and into the main aisle of the airplane. Now it gives Robert and his team a first look inside.
All right, there's our suspect. We're going to try to make contact with him.
You can hear me. Nod your head. You can hear me. Atlanta Police. Nod your head. Up and down.
This mock terrorist is going nowhere, so the squad can turn to the most important part of this exercise, finding the explosives. Mighty Max slips through to the aft galley and locates the suspected bomb-rigged boots. The robot's arm is agile and accurate. It transports them safely off the aircraft. Mighty Max neutralizes the threat by placing the boots into this bomb containment vessel.
Once we get it in here, the door's locked in place. If a package wasn't to go off inside, we'd be perfectly safe.
From here, the containment vessel is towed off-site and the contents destroyed. Mighty Max can call it a day. This 45-minute training exercise is done.
Any other suggestions or thoughts or ideas? Train, good day. Y'all did a great job with the robots.
If there were ever a real bomb threat, these guys will be ready. Over at Delta's cargo facility, workers are in overdrive preparing for the afternoon peak.
Thank you.
There's one delivery that absolutely must get out on time. Human remains.
It is one of our most precious pieces of cargo that we carry out here.
Kimberly Hall is the taskmaster at Delta Cargo. She's the one charged with getting this precious cargo on a plane that is scheduled to leave in just 15 minutes.
It is a very sensitive piece of freight and extremely time sensitive. It has to go on this flight.
This is a must-ride shipment. Missing the flight is not an option. Kim knows there is a bereaved family waiting.
It is heartwarming because you know it is somebody's family member. And we want to move it as quietly and as quickly as possible.
Kim and co-worker Mario Arnold personally accompany the body to the gate.
We're on B concourse headed to B-22. That's the departure gate for our human remains. So they're standing by waiting on us to load, so we'll be there shortly.
Some commercial airlines make good money shipping cargo in the bellies of their passenger planes. Here at ATL, Delta runs one of the biggest air freight operations in the world, moving 170 metric tons of cargo and generating millions of dollars in shipping fees every day. It's big business, and customers expect professional service, meaning no late deliveries. So Kim and Mario have no time to dally.
Thank you.
By the time they get to the gate, they have just 7 minutes to get the deceased onto the plane. But given the delicate nature of the cargo, Kim takes time to reconfirm all the details.
Just double check your gate and your outbound time. So we're going to make sure that we know we're exactly where we need to be because of the sensitivity of the freight.
It's also critical that this shipment be properly positioned in the cargo bay.
Any aircraft that we load a human remains on, the head, when it's loaded, has a point towards the nose of the aircraft.
If the head is towards the back, the G-force at takeoff and landing could force embalming fluid out of the body.
We're going to make room for this remains in the bin. We're going to shift some stuff around so that we can ensure that it rides at the nose, close to the front as we can.
Kim and Mario need a little more time to get the shipment in place. But the flight is supposed to leave now. This means a call up to Ramp Tower A from the loading agent.
Coordination Center, Bravo 22.
Coordination Center, Scott.
Here, I got HR here. Last minute HR, gonna put it in bin number 3. I need about 5 more minutes.
Okay, copy that. I'll let the shift manager know. We can hold for about 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you.
Wait a minute, John. Ready?
It's just enough time. Kim and Mario get their must-ride shipment on the aircraft. And this passenger is headed home. At Atlanta Airport, one of the biggest fears is an accident on the runways. So when an incoming plane issues a cry for help,
Atlanta Tower, standby alert.
everyone switches into high gear. Today, like every day, the world's busiest airport is gearing up to handle the afternoon rush, just minutes away. Planes will be arriving and departing every 20 to 30 seconds. And the team at Tower A is ready for it. They are put to the test when a call from the Air Traffic Control Tower turns the afternoon on its ear.
Atlanta Tower, standby alert. Landing runway 26 right. It's an MD-83. He has a severe vibration in his nose gear.
Nose gear is the landing wheel at the front of a plane. A severe vibration could mean that the wheel hasn't dropped down into position for landing. ATL could be facing a crash on the runway. Fire and EMS crews are dispatched.
2700, station 24, 32, 35, also 40. Respond on alert 2, runway 26 right. Alert 2, runway 26 right on a disabled aircraft inbound.
John Ryan also gets the call.
Respond to an alert 2 aircraft, runway 26 right. MD-88 reporting severe nose gear vibrations, 10 miles northwest of the airport.
Besides being the airport's runway inspector, John's also responsible for the airport's emergency plan. He must be on the scene to direct and coordinate rescue teams.
5 Foxtrot, 5 Echo.
All head out to the airfield to be close at hand when the aircraft touches down.
All right, we're pulling up to near the approach end of the runway, and we're going to stand by in this position. So they're going to attempt to land at this point.
The nose wheel has deployed, but there's no guarantee it will work when the plane touches down. To everyone's immense relief, the nose gear holds fast.
Delta 101, northbound 75, your 11 o'clock's inbound to Alpha 9, give way, right side out, contact ground at 121.75, request to...
But there's no time to rest on their laurels. The afternoon rush is full on. Every day, thousands of workers at Atlanta Airport give their all. Engineers and mechanics keep the big birds flying.
We take our job very seriously. Our families fly on our airplanes too, and we like to make sure that everybody is safe.
Caterers, cargo handlers, and everyone working under the wing get the right stuff on the right plane at the right time.
People in this, our industry, in the airline catering industry, just love the fast pace. This is something we thrive on.
Airside operations staff risks their lives to keep planes and passengers safe.
And not a lot of people know that we're out here on a daily basis and what we do.
And fire, EMS, and security officers are primed to respond to any threat.
When we walk through the airport, people see us, our patch that says Bomb Squad. It's not there for anybody to be worried about. It's there for them to feel safe.
From high above, the ramp tower team battles constant chaos to make the air travel experience seamless for passengers.
So what I does here, holding, coordinating, gate changing, total chaos.
Decisions made here affect the lives of thousands, 24/7, every day of the year. These are the people who keep this Atlanta Nerve Center flying safe.